Apparently, SAPS has a target for how many guns it's allowed to lose. What? Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome to News in 5. I'm your host, Joe Emilio. Thanks for tuning in. I'm not making this up, and I really wish I was. The SAPS actually has a target for how many guns it's allowed to lose.
What?
Target, like this is something they aim for, pun intended. But shouldn't that number be 0? Portfolio Committee on Police is concerned that the number of lost or stolen SAPS-owned firearms is more than the set target, meaning the police department has a target of how many guns are acceptable to lose. Acceptable to lose. The only thing acceptable should be 0. It is concerning for the committee to note that 742 firearms owned by the SAPS were confirmed as stolen or lost, which is 142 more than the target of 600. First of all, again, the fact that there's even a target, like it should be like, I understand like if they said like we excuse, or there's like losing a weapon is inevitable, or stolen weapons happen, maybe 5, 10 in the whole of South Africa. That kind of makes sense. And the cops say, that it happens, we'll excuse that. It's part of the it's part of the job. Okay, fine. But 600, and then you target for it. So you make.
They ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine, but you just can't get into it because they would never understand.
They don't even say the target is less than 600. They just say 600. So you try and achieve that. Just no one see how ridiculous that is.
Are you kidding me?
This comes as a surprise, as you would think the goal would be to lose 0 firearms. Yeah, especially when considering thousands of police firearms have ended up in criminal hands in South Africa, either through theft or outright corruption. And these guns have been linked to at least 1,000 deaths over the last few years.
Totally diabolical.
Firearms remain the most frequently used instrument to commit murders, accounting for 2,756 murders nationwide. Alarmingly, in recent parliamentary Q&A, it was revealed that 1,066 murders were committed and linked to police-issued firearms since 2016. Parliamentary paper noted that 2016, 2 former police colonels confessed to selling over 2,000 firearms to gangs, and despite the recovery of some of these guns, SAPS estimated that around 1,000 of these weapons are still in circulation. This instance and the number of murders committed using these police-issued firearms seem to be only the tip of the iceberg. Firearms being stolen include assault rifles, handguns, and even explosives in some instances, and Hubert says the South African public is facing a crisis. I don't want to be hyperbolic, but these robberies represent one of the most serious threats against public safety and national security at present, said SAGA's Gideon Hubert. That's the South African Gun Owners Association. I really don't know what to say. Like, this isn't acceptable. None of it is acceptable. It shouldn't be. First of all, change the word target, please, because I'm sure you guys don't mean target. And if you do mean target, we're in serious freaking trouble. And we all know that they didn't lose their guns. Maybe 1 or 2, police officers left it on the roof of a car, drove off, and it fell on the ground. Maybe 1 or 2, okay? Maybe. But then again, you know what? It's in some ways, it's not surprising, because we've seen examples of police officers who are either drunk, sleeping on the job, or just plain incompetent. So it wouldn't surprise me if a few guns get lost.
Gone.
All gone. All gone.
Gone! It's all gone.
Vanished.
And then some guns were stolen.
What's wrong with you people?
And again, can't be surprised with the current situation of SAPS. I mean, we've seen story after story of how some cops are robbed at gunpoint. The first rule of being a cop should be don't lose your gun. And look, I've said this before, I'll say it again. I know there are good cops in the system, but you guys are far and in between, man. really, my heart goes out to you guys, because it must really suck that not only do you have to contend with the horrible crime rate that just keeps on getting worse in this country, but it would seem allegedly that your own organization that you work for, department or whatever, is contributing to the current crime situation in South Africa. So how do you fight both outside and inside the system at the same time? It must be really difficult. So while there are some great cops in the system, and they're rare unfortunately, most of the cops, I think anyways, shouldn't actually be cops. And this leaves South Africans with the only option of trying to protect themselves, but that's easier said than done. The best thing we can do as South Africans is probably protect one another, protect our neighbor, protect ourselves, because it's clear that the ANC isn't going to come and help us. And yes, I say the ANC because they're in control of the SAPS. And we all know who Cyril Ramaphosa has appointed as Minister of Police. And that fool ain't doing anything. But let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd really like to know what you think of this story. And if you haven't yet, please check out my stand-up comedy special, Crossing the Borders. It was directed by the legend Barry Hilton. The first run of that show can be viewed on this channel for free. Link is in the description. And speaking of content, if you enjoyed this content, you might enjoy these videos. Don't forget to leave a like on this video, share it far and wide, and subscribe to the channel. I've got more content coming your way. And with that being said, thank you for watching. I'll see you at the next one. Cheers.